Okay, so I'm using Cheryl Marchetti's Kipper again, and I don't know why I feel drawn to reading on Ron Johnson, even though he wasn't on the list of the 147 senators and reps, mostly reps, who voted to overturn the election. But this guy did, if I'm remembering correctly, he is the one that he didn't do it himself, but he had somebody, probably like one of his, what do they call them? His aides. One of his aides, he probably had someone do it for him. But anyway, he was trying to get Mike Pence, he was trying to give some material to Mike Pence to get him to not do the electoral count. So anyway, he's part, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm pretty sure I am, he's part of the whole fake electors scam, that whole scheme that they had going on. So, and I know I did a reading on that. I have a playlist for that, the fake electors, and there's only a couple of videos in there, but I don't think I broke it down into like each person. But for some reason, besides all this, I don't know why, but Ron Johnson's been on my mind the last couple of hours. So I decided to veer off that list and read on him. So let's look at his political future. We know he's older, but I'm kind of, I'm not into ageism at all. I just want to know, what's his political future? Will he be reelected? I think his term's coming up next year, 2024. It's going to be 2023 before we know it. So, Ron Johnson, what is your political and legal future? Ron Johnson, okay. 1, 2, 4, 12, 13, 14, 15, and I'm going to take the 2 off the bottom just for the heck of it. Okay. All right. So that would be who he's been successfully in bed with. Health issues there, or at least a down patch. Could be a down patch because of his lies and trying to deceive. This would be his inner circle. Okay, and yeah. Whoa. So he's expecting to have something given to him based on his deception and being a part of that inner circle. And here we have the rules and regulations, the direction of his life experience. This is okay. So here's why he was not one of those who tried to, he's not one that signed to try and overturn the election, is because he was worried already based on what he did before. So this is confirming, I am remembering correctly, that he was the one that tried to get Mike Pence to not certify the election. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, here's our runt row. Okay, so that would be this would be the card that explains or confirms the fact that he tried to work with the inner circle, his inner circle with Trump, to get Mike Pence to not certify the election, of course. The four corners tell me that he was playing hard and fast. I don't always read the people cards as people. This card is primarily about wealth and creativity and pleasure. He's a much older guy, so I feel like this is his creative pursuit, his creative success, to just to bring some money in, to have favors, to have what he wants to come in, to have these are like wealthy transactions going on here. And these are all the business associates that stand together with him that are very loyal. And he's hoping that it'll all be returned. And this is our card for politics. So this is, that inner sphere of these politicians. And of course he'd hand off a piece of paper or note, or have his aide hand a note over to try and overturn the, or try and not overturn the election, but try and get Mike Pence to not certify. Wow. And then this is a card, so in the end, he's going to get the paperwork that's going to be a subpoena of some type and his investigation. And it could be that he's part of this whole transnational, money laundering crime syndicate, because, and I always have to credit Sarah Kendzior about that, for that famous line. She has several books that she's written, and I've only read one, but I'm looking at the other three. But anyhow, so yeah, money laundering. Right smack dab in the middle of his entire spread is him mulling over, like, which direction am I going? I don't want to wind up in a serious place, kind of a thing. And this card is knighting up here to all of his loyal, I don't know if the comrades would be the right word, but who are they just have their hand out for something, they want some kind of payout. They want some kind of maybe business contact, some kind of financial, change. And then this card knights down here to wealth. I mean, this could be, if we want to assign this card to some person, this could be Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene or anybody about that age, Elise Stefanik, anyone under 55, any woman under 55. And here he is right in the middle, and he's worried. So he's had, I don't know why I'm zoned in like this is him, but I feel like it is. He's had some control over creating the wealth and maybe these younger women, and then ruh-roh, down the line, doesn't look good. And then if we just look at this column here, it's very telling, because we have, the lies and the deception hanging over, the whole situation and the whole inner circle that's involved. And here we have the strategy card. Or like my friend Lori over at The Way of Positive Change says, the strategery. So anyway, then this card, the Deception Knights, to the whole, I'm going to call this the count, when Mike Pence was trying to certify the count, the electoral count, and him and his deception, the handoff over here of the paper, whatever the note was. And he's being investigated about that I think maybe I don't know if it's going to be in the future or if it's already happened. I do remember seeing things circulate online a while back about people wanting him to resign over that. It's possible that this card here is trying to tell me that he had something to do with the strategery, you know, with the planning of getting people to the Capitol. You know, it's like Plan B. Like Plan A was to get Mike Pence to not certify the election. Plan B was to have him storm the Capitol. That's why they started with the hang Mike Pence. And you know, we have to remember, Trump tweeted that out. What I was hearing on the news yesterday was that it's the tweet that he put out at like 2, if I remember right, 2:24 p.m. The day of, you know, of course, the insurrection. And that is like really damning. That tweet is really damning. So maybe this is part of it. This card can be, it's often my card for foreign influence. And so it's very possible that he's been tied to the NRA, because the NRA has been already deemed a foreign asset. That was back in September 27th, 2019. I'll never forget that date. Because by a bipartisan Senate Intel Committee, they deemed the NRA a foreign asset. And so all we have to do is the math and remember that the NRA, you know, donated tons of money into all different representatives and, you know, senators, Senate and House, all different Congress people into their accounts. And then, you know, maybe that's a way to bribe them later on, because those guys are all tied, you know, to Leonard Leo, that, what's that guy's name, like Bar or Bear, Saeed? Maybe it's Barry. I don't know. I've never heard anybody say his name. It's something that I read once in a while. I'm all involved with like the family, you know. Heritage Foundation, what's the other one? I can't even remember the name of it. I just remember watching I think it was a 4-part series on Netflix called The Family. And it's you know, it's kind of boring at first, but then it gets better and better. And it talks about all the people involved for over years and years and years. So we're talking since like I think it was the 1930s. To get them in, you know, they always had their yearly breakfast. You know, the family's like very religious. And yeah. Anyway, okay. So I feel like he's tied up in that. I mean, he's an older guy. He's been in politics for his entire life. Well, not his entire life. I'm exaggerating, of course, but adult life. And yeah, but it doesn't look good. So other cards that tell me it doesn't look good for him is that his health isn't going to hold out. And he's in a crisis situation. He's depressed. He's having major problems health-wise. And politically, I think something, you know, we don't have both of these, wait a minute, both of these cards plus this card, plus this card. The official person says, yes, it's official, like he's out of here. He's even like leaving the scene. Not that, maybe he'll try to get away. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what this card's about. And this card, you know, this could be trying to get away to a foreign country, and this would be the travel. You know, this could just as easily have an airplane on it. It doesn't have to, you know, this was the end of the century back then. So, yeah. So it's official. His political career is going down, you know, major problem there, going down the wrong road. And there's, in his future, if it's not happening already, he has an investigation into him, and there will be a judicial process because of it, because of the investigation. this could even be a tax, issue situation. The courthouse card can just be sometimes just a decision, but oftentimes it's a legal process that brings in pressing charges. This is our judicial card, judicial process. So like grand jury trials, any trial. And then having to, this card means somebody decides, and this is why he's having mental problems about it, is someone decides for you your future. And then he's like, ruh-roh. Let's see what's at the bottom. Yeah, so these two cards together, you guys, these tell me, oh, you know what? I used this spray to try and get the glare off, and I think it worked. The problem is to see how long it lasts with the shuffling. But anywho, squirrel. This card has to do with a person's longevity, success, and reputation. And this card has to do with all the assets they hold, but it's also my card for clans. And I just bet you he was part of the Ku Klux Klan way back when, maybe as a kid. So anyway, it doesn't look so good for him. I think he's grounded. I think his assets are very, 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 very much tied to dark money. Dark money here. Yeah. So I think I'll get this uploaded for you guys, and if you want to do any more knighting, and put the cards together, there's several of you that are so good at it, and I love your input. So, but anyway, with that, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. Okay, take care. Bye.